All right, we are live. Good evening, everybody. It's been quite a while since we've had our EdTech Mixed Plate, but we're back for episode 38. This is EdTech Mixed Plate, and we're coming at you with an ISTE 2015 edition. We have a few special guests joining us tonight. So let's get through introductions first, and then I'll remind our viewers of a couple things. And we have lots and lots of things to share from ISTE and NotAtISTE. Okay, so I'll start us off. I'm Mike Fricano. I'm an EdTech integration specialist for a private school here in Hawaii. I'm also a Google for Education certified trainer. I attended ISTE this year. I'm very excited to be a participant. Let's see, Shane, you want to continue with introductions? Tell us who you are. You've been on before, but...
Yeah, you know, once or twice. Yep. I'm Shane Asselstine, Curriculum and Technology Coordinator at Momilani Elementary School. My first time at ISTE, so pretty excited to see what everyone had to share in their perspectives.
First time at ISTE, and you were super busy at ISTE too.
Yeah, yeah. I had almost as many obligations as I had time to go look around. So.
Not really. Well, thanks for joining us, Shane. So he's a first-time attendee and presenter too. First time, that's pretty impressive. And we have the very amazing and special Peggy George joining us tonight. Can you introduce yourself, Peggy?
I sure can. That is so exciting, Shane, that this was your first ISTE. This was my 10th ISTE, and the very first one I went to was in Philly, so it was full cycle the third time, so that was very exciting. It is so great to be here with you. I love coming to your EdTech Mixed Plate shows, and so I'm really happy to be here with you. I'm a retired elementary school principal and a university pre-service instructor, and I spend my time as a retiree, hosting Classroom 2.0 live webinars for teachers wanting to learn to use technology.
You're probably one of the busiest retirees I know. It's amazing the things you do.
I have been busy, I'll tell you, but I'm slowing down.
Okay, well, you know, we appreciate you tuning in to all of our past EdTech Mixed Plate episodes, and we're so happy and so excited to actually have you on as a guest finally to talk about your 10th and final ISTE experience.
Yes, it is.
Joining us tonight. Michelle?
Hi, I'm Michelle Colt, and I'm the librarian at Hawaii Elementary School.
Awesome, awesome. And how many times have you been to ISTE, Michelle?
This was my fourth one.
Fourth time. Yeah, this is my second time.
Yeah.
All right, and Linda.
I'm Lindsay. I am the librarian at Seabury Hall, Google Certified Innovator and Certified Trainer. I went to ISTE twice. The first time was when it was NEC in 1989. And the second one I think was either 2012 or 2013. I think it was 2012 in San Diego. And I'm very happy to be here representing the NotAtISTE crowd.
Yes, and it was a very lively crowd.
Yes.
It was exciting.
A lot of energy.
Who weren't there participating at ISTE this year. It was super exciting. So yeah, so Linda's here representing the NotAtISTE group, and we're so happy to have you on, Linda.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So we're just going to tackle this as a roundtable. So we'll each share one thing we gained from ISTE, and we'll just keep going round and round until we hit the 1 hour mark. Okay. Before we get started with the sharing, though, just to have a few reminders for our audience members out there. So if you're tuning in live or if you're watching the recording, first of all, don't forget to check out our website. There's the bit.ly link below my chin. It's bit.ly/edtechmixedplate. We have all of our episodes archived there along with their show notes. So feel free to check those out. We have a calendar of future episodes. And if you want to join our mailing list, fill out the form there as well. And for tonight, here's our show notes link. I'll keep this up for a little while. It's bit.ly/mixedplate38. And all of us are in the show notes currently right now. We've added in a bunch of information already, and we'll continue to add to it as we move through our episode tonight. So feel free to check that out. it is available for public viewing, and we do encourage our audience and our viewers to participate in the collection of resources. You can add in your comments or suggestions to the document live as we're talking. We really appreciate that. So if anybody out there has anything that they'd like to add to the ISTE collection, feel free to chime in there. And we also have our Q&A open as well tonight. So if you're up in the corner up there, maybe this way, up there, you'll see a little waffle icon. Click that and open up the Q&A app, and we'll try to get to any questions and comments throughout the episode tonight. So feel free to use that and participate in the discussion as well. All right. So I'll keep our bit.ly down here at the bottom for a little while for anybody who's checking in a little late. So bit.ly/mixplate38 is our show notes. Okay, so I think I'm going to start us off tonight. I went to ISTE for two reasons. First, I serve as a technology integration specialist, so I'm constantly on the lookout for new ideas, new resources, new tools, new technology to bring back to my school and share with my teachers. But I will also be teaching a class next year called Make It 101 down in our upper school makerspace at our school. And so I'm super excited about that. So I went to ISTE under the guise as a teacher as well as a makerspace teacher. So I was on the lookout for a lot of different ideas for makerspaces and project ideas that I could introduce to my students. But I kind of regretted it after the fact, just because of the lack of sleep. But I woke up early enough to enjoy CoffeeEDU every morning of ISTE with Alice Keeler at the nearby Starbucks. So bright and early, 6 a.m. I was at that Starbucks, and it was a really amazing experience. It was a great way to kick off ISTE, to meet a lot of different teachers from all over the nation, and I made some great connections, got to meet a lot of people that I normally converse with online, and I picked up a few ideas as well. If you're not familiar with CoffeeEDU, the link is in our show notes, but it's an idea created by Alice Keeler, and it's essentially a mini unconference before a bigger conference like ISTE. So you gather at your local coffee spot, and you suggest different ideas that you're interested in exploring, and you find some like-minded teachers to join you, and you have a discussion around those ideas before you end up heading out to the bigger conference. So it was a great experience just to meet a lot of different people, and I picked up a couple of ideas from there. So let me see what I got here. So I was talking to a group of teachers, and they were talking about how they help their students create effective presentations and give effective presentations. And so two ideas that two separate teachers mentioned were some games that they like to play. One is called Snake Oil, and it's actually based on a real game that you can purchase through Amazon. And essentially, you have two deck of cards, and these cards have a variety of different words on them, descriptive words. You pick two, you match the cards together, and it essentially creates a fictional product. And on the spot, you have to present and convince the rest of the participants to buy into your snake oil or your fictional product. And so one teacher mentioned in the group that she created her own deck of cards to create these fictional products and things, and she has her students present to the rest of the class on these fictional items. So it challenges them to to be able to communicate effectively, right? Because it's on the spot, it's impromptu. They have to come up with these ideas off the top of their head. So, but that was a really interesting way to maybe kick off a project, or kick off a lesson on how to present effectively. So that's Snake Oil. And there's actually a link to the actual game in the show notes if you guys want to check those out. And then the other idea that I learned about was PowerPoint Karaoke. You guys ever heard of this game? No? Okay, so brand new to many of you. So basically, at the end of a unit or a lesson, when the teacher wants the students to create a presentation on it, every student would create their own presentation, but then the teacher would randomly assign a student someone else's presentation to present. So you're not presenting your own presentation, you're presenting somebody else's. And so that reinforces and teaches the concept of creating an effective presentation. So they have to create a presentation with the idea in mind that someone else would be able to present on that topic without much help. Right? So you have to have all of your images, all of your important key information, keywords, and all of the other details that go into creating an effective presentation. So I thought that was a pretty creative idea for helping students create effective presentations. And I gained those ideas from just attending CoffeeEDU bright and early in the morning and meeting a bunch of new faces from all around the nation. So I was super excited to be a part of that. All right. So moving on, we have Michelle. What do you have to share with us, Michelle?
Well, I got to meet the developer of this really great app called Seesaw, and I'm going to try to share my screen, but it's really glitchy today. I don't know if I'll be able to stay in. You might lose my audio and stuff. So anyway, Seesaw is a student-driven digital portfolio, like it says here. And right now, it's an app for the iPad, or you can use it on desktop computers. But it also is available coming up in the fall for, what was I going to say, for Android devices. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Anyway, I really think this revolutionizes how iPads are used for the youngsters, because the biggest problem for us at Halikula was when kids would create something in the iPad, how would we get it from that app to a platform that teachers could use and share with parents or with other teachers? And it was really humbug to try to share it on Facebook or send it via email. So Facebook Seesaw changes all of that. And so what it does is teachers create a classroom, and then students, that generates a QR code. Students scan the QR code, and then teachers have created, put their students' names in, and teachers can generate assignments, or students can write text, take a picture, shoot video, or draw pictures. So it gives kids so many different ways to create. Teachers can push assignments out to groups of students or to individuals. And the other really neat thing is Seesaw does everything for you as a teacher, because it also will generate a QR code for each individual student in your class, so that you, in a letter format, so you can send it home to parents and they can see the real-time work that their kids have done in school that day. So it was really fun talking to the developer, because he's also the developer of Shadow Puppet. I think you folks maybe know that iPad app. And he was talking with teachers and even reflecting on his own kids' interactions at school. He knew that the problem was, like I had said before, getting the students' individual work off the iPad and there for the parents to see. The other thing he mentioned that I thought was so interesting was that when his child comes home on Friday with the newsletter of everything they've done in school for the week, it's already old information, because his kindergartner couldn't say anything about what they did on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. And that was kind of an aha for me too, because teachers spend so much time on those weekly newsletters. But what it shows is how we really need to use technology immediately for our parents. And so I think that Seesaw does this. Even though it's kind of geared to younger students in some ways, I think that'd be fantastic with 4th and 5th graders and even older students. For instance, like, kids who are much more hands-on and learn by processing information differently. So I think you can see it now on the screen. This is the what pops up for students when they are able to submit work. And I just think that it's a really neat tool. So I wanted to share that one.
Yeah, it's a really cool tool. When you told me about it a while back, and I gave it a test spin, I really like how it engages parents and allows them to like or comment on their students' work, or on their child's work.
Yes. And I think that kids really like that too. I went to a talk also at ISTE by the librarian Shannon Miller, and her big talk was about how we need to give students a voice. And her students wanted specific things. They wanted to be able to collaborate with each other, and both in working and then socially, meaning to share ideas of things they're creating. And I think Seesaw actually does this for kids. It gives them a platform for that, a safe one. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's in the moment too. It's not
Right.
after the fact like you
Right.
mentioned earlier. Yeah. I just want to give a quick shout out to one person. He's in the Q&A. His name's Ian Hall, and he's coming to us all the way from Inglewood, Victoria, in Australia, where it's cold and wet over there. It's really hot and muggy in Hawaii. But it's Hawaii, so I can't really complain. But thanks for joining us, Ian. Really appreciate you watching live with us all the way from Australia. That's super cool. All right, so next up is Shane, I believe. Yeah, Shane. What you got for us, Shane? For your
Well,
first time
actually, yeah, this is actually something that both Michelle and I came across in the mobile games. Was it the mobile games playground? I think it was in. The one in the morning, I can't remember which playground. I spent a lot of time in the playgrounds apparently this time, or not this time, but my first time. It seemed very nice to get a quick shout or a quick shot of a bunch of things that were happening all at once. But this one was something called Inklewriter, which is essentially interactive fiction, and it's a tool designed to let students write basically choose your own adventure type fiction, which is kind of nice, giving them a graphic organizer to kind of organize their ideas and such. The program itself, I'm sure could be done other ways, but was a nice way to link from one box to another. The gentleman that was sharing it, he wasn't the creator of it, but he was actually using it as a demonstration of how it could be used for writing interactive fiction. And he said that he came across this or started using this because he started with Inform7 but found that it was too high for level for the kids he was working with. So this is kind of a step back maybe for the little younger kids. What was great is that my mind started thinking right away how I could use this to enhance my current third grade project, which is the digital storytelling, and push them to maybe write the fiction through Inklewriter first, and then go into Minecraft and develop the worlds and the actual interactiveness. So we did a fairly linear story this year, but I can imagine, using this and explaining to the kids a simple choice within creating stories, and how much more interesting their stories can become based on that. So should be kind of interesting to see. Inform7, of course, I looked that up. I've seen Mary Kyong do this several times at Punahou Summer Lab. But might also be something I think about using both for its coding side and for the language arts side. So those are two things that I have right now.
So is the Inklewriter, is that web-based, or is it an app, or?
I believe it was web-based, because I'm looking on the website right now, and he says, and it just says it has a start writing button, so you just kind of get going. I believe it's also, he mentioned it was in beta, so it's not a full release yet.
Do students have to create?
Looks like they need a sign-in.
Is it open for anybody to use, or how that works?
Yeah, seems like it's there is a sign-in, email sign-in, or you can just start writing it. But I'm guessing if you just start writing it, won't save your work to come back to later on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can use it without signing in, just that you run the risk of not finishing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't save your work. Okay, cool. Check that out. That's Inklewriter, you said, yeah?
Yeah, Inklewriter.
And we got the link for that in the show notes for those of you watching live or the recording. The show notes are at bit.ly/mixedplate38 down there on my lower thirds. For those of you checking us out right now, we have a couple people in the Q&A again. Brad Murphy's saying hi, so I'm going to say hi back to Brad Murphy. Thanks for watching with us tonight. Hey, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
And, Rachel Pearson, it's a Monday morning for her, so it must be super late or super early in the morning, but she's watching from South Central Minnesota. And she has a good question for us, which I might be able to answer with the thing I'm going to share on the next way around, but just for the rest of us to think about as we're sharing. She wants to know, what was the coolest thing that you saw that could be used in a standalone STEM classroom? So just something to think about. in your sharing. And if we don't get to it, there's lots of resources in the show notes. But I think what I'm going to share next might be one answer to that question. So something to think about. Okay, so Shane, thanks for sharing. Next up, we have Peggy. What you got for us, Peggy?
Oh, I get so excited when I talk about ISTE because it is such a fabulous experience every year for me, and every year it's different. So I didn't end up choosing tools in particular, but I ended up selecting a bunch of resources, I guess you might say, that share tools and other kinds of things, videos and things like that. But I wanted to highlight a couple of the things that mean a lot to me at ISTE because they really create the experience. And the very first thing is the Hack Ed conference. I don't know how many of you got to go to that. Did any of you?
No. And
oh, I'm so sorry.
I think next year I'm going to plan on coming a lot earlier.
It's just the day before the official conference starts, so it's always on Saturday, and it's a full day unconference. So if you love ed camps, you know exactly what this is like. And we generate the sessions for the day right there after people arrive. We spend usually the first hour just greeting people. It is so much fun to meet up with people in a very small setting. You know, when you think of 300 people compared to the, 21,000 people they had at ISTE, it helps you break in gently. So you get a chance to go around and see everyone and take selfies and, you know, give hugs, and then the day begins. And there are usually about 8 sessions going on at a time. And in the show notes, I shared the schedule. And if there were people that had resources to share for any of the topics, they put a link in that schedule, so there'll be some resources there for you. And we always have a SmackDown too, and all of the SmackDown resources are in there. So even though I'm not sharing a specific tool with you, I know that you'll find some great things there, so you have to spend some time checking them out. So that's my kickoff.
Cool. Thanks, Peggy, for sharing that. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Hack Ed, but I always plan horribly when I go to ISTE the second time around. So I think next year I'm definitely going to plan on coming at least 1 or 2 days early, because there was Hack Ed,
Yes.
Global Education Conference.
Yes.
On Tuesday.
I'm going to share that one next, but Hack Ed it starts early Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, so you almost have to plan on coming in the afternoon or the night before to be able to get there for the day. But you can arrive whenever you want. So sometimes people arrive, you know, midday or whenever they can get there. But it's really fun to be part of the group picture, and we do that every year, and that's posted on the Hack Ed Wiki, and it's also included. I included a link to all my Flickr photos, and I think I have about 500 pictures in there. So you'll have fun just browsing through those, but you'll find some of the group pictures there.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely encourage anybody who's
Yes.
considering to go to ISTE in the future to try to arrive like a day or two early, because there's so many other things going on even before the ISTE conference that are really great experiences. Yeah. All right, thanks for sharing that, Peggy. Linda, you're here representing the ISTE group, and you made a presentation specifically for tonight.
I know. I'm just crazy about it. You know, because it takes me. I ramble a lot, so I figured I wanted to get the overall picture to everyone, and I wanted to do it quickly. So I did do a presentation.
I love your theme, by the way. Where'd you get that theme at?
Well, it is from slidescarnival.com. It's called the Puck theme.
Cool.
And you can download it, and it works really well with Google presentations. I think I saw it, Michelle and Rachel used it at last conference, and I wondered about that. And then when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's where they got it. So yeah, it's cool. You can actually download it. Okay.
Cool.
Alrighty, so here we go. There were some cool ways those of us who could not attend the ISTE conference could participate from afar. For instance, the mobile app was a great way to stay connected. we could get notification just as if we were at the conference. We could participate using these hashtags on Twitter and Instagram, as well as other social networks like Facebook and Flickr. We could have tuned into Peggy's pictures. Sue Waters of EduBlogs, who's from Australia, is very active in the NotAtISTE community, and she and several others put together a Flipboard magazine of over 1,000 articles called ISTE Insights. By the way, everything that's surrounded by blue is an actual link that people can go to the resources. And she created a crowdsourced Google Sheet of shared session notes and invited people to come, and people are still adding to that. So if you have any session notes that you'd like to add to hers, that would be terrific. So last year, Jen Wagner, who's a pre-K6 grade online project host and a Google certified teacher, started the NotAtISTE Google Plus community, and as of today there are 678 members. It's a private community, but you can ask to join, and it's actually active throughout the year. And there are 4 specific activities that Jen set up especially for the community: badges, a NotAtISTE challenge, a NotAtISTE bingo, and new this year was an Ignite. So you could make badges to introduce yourself to the community, and this is what they look like. There were over 150 of them this year, definitely more than last year. Jen set up 20 fun challenges, which were divided into 4 categories: welcome, sharing, photos, and more fun. And you could win prizes. She solicited prizes. And Craig Yen was the big winner of the challenge. I'll talk a little bit more about him in a minute because he's always been active in NotAtISTE. You could play bingo from a selection of 30 bingo cards, much more organized than that last year. It was fun to get a note from Laura Fogel on the right. You probably can't read it, but I guess I helped her win bingo because she watched a NotAtISTE Ignite that I did. And speaking of Ignites, they were new this year in the community, and 3 of us stepped forward crazily to try to use them, do them using Hangouts. Katie Ann Wilson, who's really into augmented reality, did 3 Ignites, 2 on augmented reality and 1 on mobile learning. And Shelly Sanchez-Terrell did 1 on selfies, and I did 1 on Google Apps, surprise, surprise. And an Ignite, as you know, is a very structured method of presentation. It's 20 slides, 15 seconds each, equals 5 minutes, and it is not as easy as it might seem. Jen is hoping to get more Ignites next year and maybe even have them during the year in the community. I thought that was pretty cool. Craig Yen deserves a mention all by himself because he was a very active member of NotAtISTE, not only in the G+ community, but he was on fire on Twitter using the NotAtISTE tag. He put together a NotAtISTE 15 Twitter list. You can see that on the left. You can click on it if you want to look at it and possibly subscribe. And this is on the right is his badge for the Google Plus community. And by the way, Craig is vacationing on the Big Island as we speak. And there were some cool podcasts and hangouts to watch. King of the podcast, Jeff Bradbury of TeacherCast, did about 25 live interviews and videos, and he uploaded 17 of them up to YouTube, so they're available now. Matt Miller decided to put his 2 live sessions on Google Hangout on air, ditched that textbook, and sharing is caring, BYOD. And hopefully more people will do this for those that are not at ISTE next year. Also, the ISTE Librarian Network did a live hangout on air for their presentation on school library makerspaces, so be sure to check that out. There were people collecting and curating during the conference for us. The first place award goes to Barbara and Tina, owners of Live Binders, who put together pretty much everything about NotAtISTE 15 in a live binder. And if I were to recommend one resource for everything you need to know about NotAtISTE, this would be the link for sure. Annabelle Pacheco of ITS, Instructional Technology Solutions, I think he's a consultant, was very busy during ISTE. I thought he was at ISTE. I don't think he was. And he created this great Pinterest board, NotAtISTE 15, the virtual experience, with 97 pins of videos and links. So lots for us to check out. And even those who are at ISTE could definitely check it out as well. There were two mobile apps that kind of caught my attention during ISTE because a lot of people seem to be interested in them. Voxer, for those of you who don't know, is a messaging app for your smartphone with live voice, kind of like a walkie-talkie, with text, photo, and location sharing. And you can check out, there's a directory that was made, an EduVoxer directory of people who are on Voxer, and that was created by Principal Teresa Stager. And there's also a Voxer group directory centered around ISTE themes that was set up by the sisters Karen Corbell and Heather Gauk, and also Sarah Thomas, and edited by Annabelle Pacheco. And on the right you see a avatar of Tony Vincent, who did a series of Periscope broadcasts. And Periscope is a Twitter app to broadcast live video on your smartphone. When you go live, your followers can join, comment, and send you hearts in real time. They can't be replayed after 24 hours, the broadcast can, but they can be archived without the comments and hearts, and that's what Tony did. He did, I think, about a dozen of those, so be sure to check those out. And then lastly, I wanted to mention ISTE Live, where I was able to participate in some of the conference activities online. It does cost money, but thanks to the people at ISTE who kindly provided my registration as part of my Making It Happen award in 2014, I was able to participate for free, and it was great. There were the 3 keynotes. There was 18 hours of professional learning. There was chat discussions, Q&A, peer networking sessions you could choose, and then archives of the ISTE Live for 6 months and 25 recorded videos. And here you see a screenshot of what it looked like you connected via Adobe Connect, and the camera feed was there, and there was an audience chat on the upper left where you could talk to each other or talk to the speaker. They had Q&A there as well, and at the bottom you could click on the schedule to see where you were. So it was a very vibrant setup. I wish I had been able to participate more in that, but I had something else going that I had to organize. But I got a lot out of it, and definitely going to check out the archives. And so that is NotAtISTE 2015, and what will happen next year, I'm sure it's going to be much more exciting and vibrant. It's more and organized. So that's my contribution.
Oh, thanks for sharing that, Linda. That's
You're welcome.
So you said everything that's highlighted in blue.
I'm so excited that you shared Periscope. Tony is just the best Periscope user ever, and I'll guarantee you that if you sit next to him anytime, you're going to be live on a Periscope. So. But it's really fun, and he has a great way of just kind of drawing people in and capturing the moment and getting them to share, and so I am hooked on it now. I check it as much as I check Facebook and Twitter now.
Oh my.
The Periscope seemed to be a very popular app at ISTE this year, which is, especially for the NotAtISTE crowd. It's great to have that live link into the conference like that.
You know, I've been playing with it a lot since I came back, but I didn't realize, Linda, the videos kind of vanish after 24 hours unless if I archive it,
you can upload it to YouTube. Within 24 hours. Though,
oh, okay. Well, that's really good because the first time I used it, I was recording my son at a performance, and I thought if I tapped the screen, it would stop it because you tap the screen to start. But tapping the screen turned the camera around, so I had that horrible moment where I saw myself, and all those people watching in the world saw me too. I was so embarrassed. I'm really glad to hear it is gone now, that it's not archived. I wondered, though, do you think we can use that with students? Do you think that our current acceptable use policies that tell parents, you know, or their parents give permission for kids' work and image to be on social media like blogs and wikis or shared in the classroom and beyond, do you think it covers Periscope? Because the thing about it is you can watch videos happening anytime all around the world. So would you put a special permission in for that, or would you just not even use Periscope with your students? What do you folks think?
I would approach it carefully.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't assume that your AUP covers it.
Right.
and not inform parents of it otherwise. I mean, I would still maybe get like a secondary permission, like a second level of permission from them, just so they're aware of what, because
Yeah.
Periscope is still something that I'm sure many parents have no idea what that is or how it works.
Yeah,
What
that's true.
I mean, I wouldn't say no. I don't see why not, but keeping parents informed is definitely
Smart.
important. Yeah. Okay, so we got through the first round. We're going to come back around again, but just want to give a shout out to a couple more people in the Q&A. So we have Lisa checking in from Los Angeles, California, where the weather's warm. She wants to learn a little bit more about the student-led help desk, and I'm going to share a little later if I have time. So thanks for joining us, Lisa. And Brad, he already said hi, but he's actually coming from Sydney, Australia. So we got 2 viewers from Australia tonight. And he's also interested in STEM and STEAM resources. And we have Concur. I hope I said that correctly. He's checking in from Bangladesh. Wow, that's our first international viewer, if I remember correctly. That's awesome. He actually helps us with Google Classroom in forms and stuff. But he's checking in, and he's interested in teaching students to write professionally. Do you have any input on that? And Leslie is checking in from Griffin, Georgia. And this is her first. She's a first-time viewer, so thanks for checking us out, Leslie. We appreciate you watching tonight. Hopefully, it's not too late or too early in the morning for you. Okay, so it's back to me again, right? And actually, I think what I'm going to share sort of applies to Rachel Pearson's question, so I'm going to put that back. So Rachel earlier asked, what's the coolest thing you saw that could be used in a standalone STEM classroom? And so what I wanted to share my second time around is a website called 3dponics.com. So let me see if I could screen share this. So I went to the Makerspace playground, which is where I spent a lot of my time during ISTE this year at the playgrounds. And I gathered a lot of information about 3D printing and building and encouraging makerspaces at your school. And one thing in particular I thought was really cool that I'm definitely going to bring back to my school is this website called 3dponics.com. And basically what it allows you to do is you can download files and instructions that allows you to 3D print your own hydroponics system. So you can download the files, you can print them or customize them further and then print them, and then you can piece together your own hydroponic system that was created by your own 3D printer. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. Rather than buying those expensive hydroponic systems, you could essentially print and create your own. And they list 3 different kinds: the drip system, the non-circulating, and then the 3dponics Mini. And so if you download those files and take them to your 3D printer, you can print them out and piece them together yourself. And so if you already use or you're considering using or introducing your students to a hydroponics system at your school, that could definitely address some of those. It addresses STEM, definitely. But then when you get into 3D printing, then you get into more of the engineering and the design aspect of these kinds of projects. Stop my screen share. And the back. It's just there we go. So that was 3dponics.com. Check that out if you're interested in creating your own hydroponic system. All right. So I hope that's one idea for you, Rachel, if you're still with us. Check that out if you have a 3D printer in your school. All right, so we're coming back to Michelle.
Okay. Mike, I just want to share, in case she doesn't have a 3D printer, I went to a few different Makerspace sessions, and they said to us right off the bat, you know, don't worry, a Makerspace doesn't mean a 3D printer. So I got some great tips for Makerspaces on a shoestring budget. I think the one that I tweeted out that got the most tweets was from this really great librarian from North or South Carolina, and his name has escaped me, but his great tip is one you folks probably know. But you can get a green tablecloth, you know, at the dollar store, Price Busters or something, and use that for a green screen. And I thought, oh yes, I don't have to always borrow Rachel and Megan's fancy green screen. I'm just going to get a tablecloth. But hey, the amazing Makerspace resources that I got were from Dr. Zeitz, who's from Iowa, and I linked in the show notes his presentation, and also, so this is his presentation. He did a presentation on how working with a group of 6th graders to create Rube Goldberg machines led them to pursue passions in STEM, but also so many other things too, soft skills like communication and collaboration. And you know, he pointed out that some kids just were not interested in creating the machines, but then that child could kind of see how to manage the different group members in the group. And I thought that was really neat too. So he said, when you do something like this, you know, you allow the students' talents and personalities to really shine. And how he started it out is he just said to them, I have this ball and there's that bucket over there. How can we get the ball in the bucket? And he said that kids thought they right away got to work, they tried things, they found all kinds of different supplies in the classroom, and the real kicker was they didn't finish in that 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever it was that day in the classroom with him. They actually went home, and when they came back the next day, somebody had created it in Minecraft, and somebody else brought in all kinds of extra supplies that they could use. So it was just really fun. So I want to encourage you to go through his presentation. One thing he said, because I am not a strong STEM, science, technology person, he said, I loved this, I put it in my Twitter feed, he said, I don't know a lot about physics, but I researched these words, and it's like potential, thermal, chemical, electrical, and he said you're modeling learning with the students, and I love that idea. Somebody else in our session said, you know, she doesn't have a big classroom space, and so what they did is they went vertical with their Rube Goldberg machines, and they used pegboard. So just the other day I went to City Mill, I found out I can get a pegboard for only $5, and so now I'm thinking, how can I build a stand? And it's just really exciting because it's kind of like that idea in the makerspace when you have an idea or a passion, then you suddenly have questions and you try to make it happen. Neat. Sorry, one more page. I just these in the show notes. Has so many resources. Especially, I want to point out this link, Invent Tomorrow links, and he's invited all of us who are at his presentation to tweet it out and to also crowdsource it, so other folks who have ideas can put their ideas here. He was just an incredible presenter. Peggy, I first saw him at the SLAM at the Hack Ed conference, and he shared something neat there too. But this just, you know, it kind of made me feel like, hey, I can do this, even though I don't have a lot of money, and it'll just be fun. Oh, and then I put in, sorry, this is the last thing I'll say, I promise. I was just searching quick the other day, and look at this. We all definitely have cardboard and popsicle sticks and paper towel rolls, so you can make your own marble chute. So suddenly I'm finding all of these ideas, and it's exciting. So I hope that maybe we need to do another Makerspace EdTech Mix Plate, Mike, because I definitely want to hear more about your program that you're doing this year, and I know we all have cool things. Linda, I know you're doing things in your library with students. It's really student-driven at lunch, and Shane, your kids are making amazing Minecraft things, so we want to hear all those things.
I wanted to say that that fellow you were talking about, Michelle, is John Parker.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
I think that's right. Thank you.
He was amazing. I just loved him. And the quote, I was looking for the tweet that I tweeted out about him. He said, there are makers hiding everywhere.
Yes, he did. I love that too.
All we have to do is find them.
Yes, and actually I think the big thing is give the students the opportunity. Too much, I just feel it's kids showing their learning with pencil and paper, but I love how makerspaces are hands-on and different thinking, and it's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
We're all makers, and we were all makers as kids. Just trying
I put on my screen John Parker. He's on Twitter. He's the slam guy.
Cool.
Very cool.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Okay, so next we're going back to Shane. You have anything else? Oh, yeah, you do. Toss something else in there. What you got for us next?
Yeah, so I guess the next thing beyond Minecraft and all the other things I had to do there, one of the things I was looking for was possibly some type of desktop robotics that I could take from Minecraft and bring outside of the game world. Unfortunately, I didn't find too many that would work in my current situation, but that can be adjusted, I think. I mean, I'm sure I can find some kind of a space somewhere else outside of my room. But one of the places I did stop by was the Terrapin booth inside of the expo, and they were demonstrating the B-Bot, the Blue Bot, and the Pro Bot. I've seen the B-Bot worked with Jake Lee. Jake Lee's done work with B-Bots and with Dash and Dots. Recently, actually, at the Summer Labs, I just got to play with the Sphero as well, which, oddly enough, is the most simple robot-looking robot, but yet it seemed to have the most complex control system and everything that comes with it. So Sphero actually also had a booth at the expo, and Botball had an expo booth. Anyway, so I stopped by all these and taken a look at them, but I put up the B-Bot one because it had the most wide range from very basic kind of lower L type robotics to the ProBot, which you can actually add pens to apparently, and your robot can then be programmed to do drawings for you, which was kind of cool. So, and it looks like a race car. So I mean,
is that the white one that's kind of shaped like a?
Which one? The ProBot?
Maybe I got to visit your link.
Yeah, the B-Bot looks like just like a bee. The Blue Bot is actually like a transparent same shape, but it has more controls on it.
Yeah.
And all of them can be controlled from the actual robot or through the program, through the app program. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, there was a lot of different booths and different schools and people presenting on robotics and programming, and
yeah,
but there was quite a variety. I was really intrigued and interested by all the different ideas and concepts and resources up there. Cool. Thank you, Shane.
Yep.
And we're back to Peggy. What else you got for us, Peggy? You have so many things. How do you?
I do. I'll crunch them together. So I was so glad that you mentioned that, because those poster presentations are some of the best things to go to at ISTE, because that's when you really get to see the kids presenting what they've created and done. And there were lots of makerspace things there, but so many other things. So and that just goes on all the time. So there's more to do than there is time, for sure. The next things, I'm going to scrunch these together, but this is the Global Education Day is another one of those events that actually happens before the conference, the first conference keynote on Sunday. It's always Sunday afternoon. It lasts for 3 hours, and it is a fabulous time to meet up with educators from around the world, and they do a really nice mix of short Ignite type presentations and then roundtable conversations, and they had to limit the number of people in the room, and I think there were 300 people there, but you could choose the topic that you wanted to learn more about, and then you just all gathered together around the table and shared your ideas and your business cards, and it was just such a great way to connect with people. And then it will continue in the Global Ed Conference in November, which is also a free virtual online conference. So be sure to check out that link and go see the kinds of things that they have going on there. I also included a couple of blog posts about that people actually described some of their takeaways from Global Ed Day, and that I know you'll find some great resources there. And the other thing I wanted to scrunch with that was TeachMeet. Have any of you participated in TeachMeets before?
No, I haven't. I was hearing that.
They are amazing. I had participated in maybe 6 or 7 virtually, and they were all hosted in England and Scotland and places in that part of the world. But they had a TeachMeet all Sunday, and so I was only able to go to the morning sessions. But it's like a combination of Ignite sessions and short presentations, and it's because there are different models for it. But a TeachMeet basically is a quick kind of presentation, and you don't interact during the presentation, but you have lots of conversation in between to interact with other people and with the presenter. And Crystal Kirch presented at the TeachMeet, and so that was where I got to hear more about what she was saying about what she's done with the flipped classroom, and she's quite an innovator with that. So I have the links for the TeachMeet there with a lot of great takeaways about that if you get a chance to go to one of those, and many of them are virtual and free, so be watching for them. You could even Google for TeachMeets and you'll find where they're located and when they're being hosted, but it's a great experience.
Cool.
It's actually, Peggy, were you in the one with Kyle Calderwood? Was he one of the people? Yeah,
he was
Kyle.
the host of this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Kyle does the TeachMeet in New Jersey, that area. And
Yes.
then I met actually 2 or 3 of the TeachMeet guys at the very end. Well, I know
Matt?
Kyle through Minecraft, but I met him while I was there for the first time in person, so it was kind of cool to meet up with those guys. So.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah, it really is neat to meet those people, and there were people from other countries in that session too, so that was fun. And then people that lots of people know, like Cyberry Man, popped in and did his little burst, of resources, and so there were a lot of great people that had great things to share there.
Cool. Okay, so we're back to Linda. Did you have anything extra to share, Linda?
No.
No? Okay.
Good.
We've got about 6 minutes left, so I think maybe can we do like a 1-minute quick roundtable? You guys have something to share that could fill that you could quickly share in like 1 minute? I'm going to share my last piece, but I'll be really quick with it. We'll just knock out a couple more before we end it. Does that sound good? Okay, so I'm going to share my last resource. So this is a concept, an idea that was presented on by Jen Scheffer, and you may know her through Google+, but she teaches at a high school, and what she did is she presented an Ignite talk at ISTE, and you could find it here on YouTube. Somebody did a Periscope and uploaded the video to YouTube there. But essentially what she did, she designed a course at her high school, and the students in that course actually manage a student help desk for their one-to-one program at their school. So these students create the content, they help teachers, help students, they create app reviews and seek out app reviews, and they reflect on the entire process along the way, which is how they get their grade for their course. So that was something unique that I picked up on, and I think that's an idea I'm going to bring back to my school, because at my school we have a one-to-one iPad program, and we're kind of tossing around the idea of a student-led help desk, but this might be a unique approach to that idea. So feel free to check And she also has a website. Whoops, where did it go? Oh, here. So this is their high school help desk website where the students have blogged and researched and presented on a variety of different things for their one-on-one program. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share. So feel free to check that out. And next, Michelle, back to you.
I think I want to share just really quick more like a mindset, and that's that, I think Peggy was saying too that each ISTE is very different for her. And I'm going to admit it, the first ISTE, we were just really stuck in that exhibit hall. We were wowed by it and all the free stuff. And this particular ISTE, I almost never went to the exhibit hall. I'm not supposed to say that probably, but this ISTE I think was a little bit more about putting myself out there. And so what I mean by that is I actually volunteered, not at Mike's level in the Google Theater, but I did volunteer at the Google booth to answer people's questions. And I did share some student work, so it was kind of fun to see that they had put it up in their Google Classroom booth. And that was just kind of a neat thing, because I think a lot of us do this as teachers, and that's that we say, oh no, I don't have anything to share, or I can't answer people's questions. But it was the greatest thing, because when I was there volunteering at the Google booth, Linda, who walked up to ask about Google Classroom was David Lorcher. And he's like a guru in the library information world. And it was so exciting. I just wanted to like bow down to him. And I said, oh, I'm so excited to meet you. And I'm sure he thought I was crazy. But if I hadn't gone to volunteer, I wouldn't have met him, and he actually gave me a great idea for something I'm going to try this year in the library. And it's just about putting yourself out there. I also volunteered as a librarian in the Digital Librarians Playground, and I shared some how we were using Minecraft, and it's nothing like the way Shane is, but I figured, what, someone is just needing simple information, just getting started. And so I made some great connections there too. It was really, really fun. So I guess my message is, for anybody listening, and even all of us as we go forward in our too soon upcoming school year, we shouldn't hesitate putting ourselves out there and making connections.
Yeah, thanks for that, Michelle.
Can I just piggyback on that really quickly? Because you made such a great point about being a volunteer, and I had a similar experience. I just highly recommend that you do this, and you get to meet so many different people, and my job was to hand out the icy treats that all the people at ISTE stopped by to pick up, and I actually got to spend about 10 minutes talking to Kathy Schrock there, who was killing time waiting to go into her presentation, and she gave me a sneak preview of everything she was going to say in the presentation. So you just never know, but I agree with you about volunteering.
Linda, do you have something to add?
I just remembered Peggy was talking about the poster sessions and how great they were, and I just wanted to say that Tony Vincent did broadcast them on Periscope all 3 days, so check that out.
I actually saw him periscoping. I didn't want to interrupt him, but I saw him in a while.
He was all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, so we're got a couple minutes left. Shane, did you have anything else to share?
Couple of things actually.
Go for it.
One was just about your help desk situation. I found out while I was at ISTE that apparently Best Buy does actually provide a training program for students in schools, and they'll train your kids to be junior geek squatters.
Oh.
I don't know if that's a nationwide thing or maybe just in their states, but I actually have a connection at Best Buy here. I might kind of find out whether or not they offer that, and then I'll definitely share if that is something that's possible, because that'd be kind of cool for the kids. Yeah. And last thing I wanted to share was, I forgot to mention that out of all the excitement at ISTE and going to Minecon, that ComputerCraftEdu was released officially. So for Minecraft, you can now do the programming and commanding turtles within Minecraft. So I'll definitely be using that in my upcoming year. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shane. And Peggy, you said you had one more thing to share?
Yes, I'll share one final thing. I want to give a shout out to Leslie Fischer's presentation on augmented reality apps. It was fabulous, and I put a link to her slides in the show notes so you can check them out. She talked about so many different tools, not only for the classroom but beyond, for things that you can do with augmented reality, and it was just so interesting, and I learned about so many new tools that I hadn't heard of before. So take a look at that.
Cool. Thanks for that, Peggy. So before we end, I just want to give a couple more quick shout-outs via the Q&A. So Maureen Chung from Kauai is joining us. We appreciate you checking out EdTech Mixplay tonight, Maureen. And Irene from Southern California, she's checking out EdTech Mixplay. Thanks for joining us tonight. And for all of our other viewers out there, we appreciate you guys chiming in on the Q&A and asking your questions and introducing yourselves. Really appreciate that. And just a couple of reminders before we say goodbye. Our show, this episode, will be archived as well as all of our previous episodes, along with their show notes at our website there, bit.ly/edtechmixplate. So check it out. We have a calendar there and a form if you want to join our email list. If you'd like to know who our viewers are out there, so check out the website. And one last time, tonight's show notes are located at this bit.ly link, bit.ly/mixedplate38. So everything that we've shared tonight, and even more than that, are included on the show notes document. And the document is, we do give our viewers the ability to comment and make suggestions. So if any of you out there were NotAtISTE participants or ISTE participants and you have your own resources to share, feel free to add them in via the comments or the suggestion tool in the Google document. I really appreciate our viewers out there adding their own resources as well. It just makes it a much richer document for everyone else out there.
Hey Mike, could we invite them also to come to EdChat Hawaii tomorrow night on Twitter, because it's on summer professional development and learning, so it'd be a great place for them to share, again, those resources, and it's 6 to 7 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time.
Yeah, so follow the hashtag EdChatHi, and we're talking about summer highlights tomorrow, so search for that hashtag and join us if you can. I just have one more quick thing to share for all of our local Hawaii viewers out there. We have our big Schools of the Future conference coming up, and as an ISTE, our Hawaii Society, we are an affiliate for ISTE. We sponsor the Making It Happen Award, and we're looking for nominations for this year. So if you know somebody who fits the bill for the Making It Happen Award, you can nominate them. So check out the flyer. If you go to our website, hste.org, catch all the information and flyer and how to submit nominations there. So check that out, Making It Happen Award for all of our local viewers out there. All right, well, that ends tonight's episode. I just want to give a round of applause and a thank you for Peggy for finally joining us on EdTech Mixplate. So just a quick question, Peggy, are you going to be a NotAtISTE participant next year? Is that your plan?
Absolutely. I actually followed it quite a lot this year, so next year I will be a very active participant there.
Awesome, awesome. And thanks for joining us today, Peggy. We really
Thanks for having me. It was so much fun.
Yeah, definitely. And Shane, thanks for joining us again, especially since this is your first ISTE experience, hopefully not your last.
Hope not.
Thanks for joining us and sharing all your resources. And thanks, Linda, for joining us and representing the NotAtISTE crowd. It was a lively crowd this year. It was awesome. A bit last year, but I was so excited to see how active and engaging it was this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it grow next year as well. So thanks for sharing your experience, Linda.
Very welcome.
And for Michelle, she was my guide 2 years ago at ISTE when I first went. I really appreciate that, and we hung out again this year, and I look forward to continuing that next year and years to come. Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for joining us in on EdTech Mixplay. This is episode 38, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Aloha.